think we had another option of like we've done the fighting in Necromunda. Where can we go from there? Now we've planted the seeds for the Eye of Selene, which is the space station above Necromunda. We've done the Sump Seas, which is the seas below Necromunda, and then the other environment is obviously we talk about is the ash wastes. So there's massive deserts, sulfur lakes. This planet has been mined and stripped of all its resources so much that it's falling apart. There's clouds of acid storms, there's sulfur lakes. Like I say, there's all sorts of horrible environments out there.
Well, one of the biggest things that is a massive difference with the ash waste is previously you've always been in that safe, controlled environment, even when there's the radiation, the bad zones, or you're dealing with the toxic Sump Seas and things like that. It's still, you're inside, you're secure, you're protected from the elements and the weather on Necromunda. Necromunda is a blighted world. The ecosystem's been completely destroyed. It's only tenuously being held in check by various arcane technologies that aren't really understood anymore, but they just sort of keep working so everyone shrugs and keeps going and hopes for the best. But it's incredibly important for the whole background and story of Necromunda. And it's just opened up a whole new different world where we can explore where things happen. So it's what is it like when all of a sudden there are storms blowing in. The ground is unstable, you're not sure what it is. And there's these creatures out there that aren't covered by Helmor's peace. They aren't looked after by the enforcers. And they're just sort of left to their own devices. And sort of as long as they don't too much impact on the convoys, we'll just protect the convoys and let them do whatever they want. So it encapsulates the whole underhive elements of lawlessness, doing what you want as long as you roughly obey the rules, and takes it to another level of, as long as the deliveries get made, do whatever you want out there. And so it's a whole rogues gallery of who can be out there and what they can be doing.
As a hobbyist, and also for us, a playing field that's massive. We've drawn maps. And then we're constantly making new maps of the environments, and as we're doing these we're going, wouldn't it be great if we had a squat mining facility there, or wouldn't it be great if we had a chem lake here, and it allows you to then say, okay, well, it's massive vast distances, so they must have refueling points, they must have stock points. That could be like shanty towns, so it allows us to take the hubs we've done and make small sort of shanty towns that are built up to just protect a Prometheum lake. You know, there's those kind of places that allows you in your mind to go, well, I don't want to play in a hive, I want to play outside now, I want to play like the Wild West, I want to play these sort of towns where I can sort of make a shanty town up, it's protected by enforcer marshals or something like that, and you've got a different environment straight away.
It made it quite a challenge, because in a lot of ways, one of the big things about Necromunda when you're out there is there's two main seasons. You've got the season of flame, when the whole planet heats up, and as it heats up, firestorms start at various points throughout the planet. That's actually, though, the safest time to be travelling, because the storms die down and it's far more reliable as to what happens. Then you've got the season of ash, where there's a constant, just massive storm going all the way around the world, and other localised storms spring up unpredictably and no one knows where they're coming from. Connecting these, you've got lots of changing seasons. It's not, and you're never entirely sure when the next one of those is going to come or what it's going to bring.
It's sort of like if you've got all the wrecks of all the buildings everywhere that you've ever seen, meets the Arizona desert in certain parts, but then other times you'll have flash floods of maybe insects or falling rocks, or it's the worst environment you could possibly think of. The cloud storms aren't just a drop of rain, it's acid that will strip you to the bone, or it's a gas cloud that will sort of turn your bones to jelly. We've got all those ideas of it's such a harsh environment, but it's partly because of all the mining and the resource stripping that the populace of Necromunda have done, but also because it allows us then to do, as a modeler and a hobbyist myself, it allows me to do different environments that I want to. I've always fancied doing sort of a Wild West shantytown type of thing, so I can use the habs, but maybe it's on the edge of a cliff. Maybe I can do some broken up foam and cork, and I can make it like a precipice where the ground's gone on from underneath because it's been mined so many times. Or I want to do an abandoned mine, that kind of feel of like, but it's inhabited by all these insects and creatures, so it becomes almost like a survival horror game. You know, it allows us to take different environments without building. So literally, the sky's the limit.
I mean, there's three sorts of main types of ash waste. You've got the near waste, which is where you can still see a hive on the horizon. The deep waste, and that's this point where you really are in complete lawlessness, because you can't even see a hive on any of the horizons. And bearing in mind, these can be kilometres, 14 kilometres and so on tall. These hives are not small things. They could be seen for absolutely miles. I believe on a clear day, it's 400 kilometres you can see the tip of Hive Primus from. And then you've got the wild wastes, which are where things, even for Necromunda, have got a bit more strange and a bit more dangerous. And we've incorporated both the seasons and the wastes into the rule set by introducing sort of battlefield conditions. So you have both simultaneously what the battlefield surface is like. So these bits that aren't terrain or aren't a road, because these have all been reinforced roads to make them safe for transport, based on whether you're in the deep wastes, the near wastes, or the wild wastes. And in addition to that, there'll be weather conditions and patterns circulating, which are based upon whether you're fighting within the changing seasons, the season of flame, or the season of ash.
What I like to see is, in my mind is, I want to see where people have taken our ideas and run with them. I think that's the main thing for me, is like seeing ideas that we've had, but then saying, oh, I never thought of that, oh, doing that. And I'm constantly amazed when you look on social media what people do with our model kits and our vehicles and figures. It's just amazing. So I just like looking at what people create. I like people painting models, I like people playing games, but you know, I think that's the main thing we all love.